We once again welcome you, sir. Now, let us invite our resource person of this session, Dr. M. Naresh Kumar, to move this session forward.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your welcome. And I'm very happy to be here. And also a warm welcome to all the participants who are here to know something about the reality tools. And as we all know, reality is the one thing which we are transforming from our conventional process. So whatever we do in our regular practice, we are transforming little bit. So let me start with my presentation slides. I hope my voice is clear, ma'am and sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
It's
Thank
clear.
you.
Yeah.
So it's 5 days program, and we are all learning about various augmented reality and virtual reality tools so far. And also, you might have known different reality platforms so far what they are using for experimentation and real life example. So now in today's session, what we are going to discuss is about experimentation platforms, which is harnessing the power of this artificial and this virtual reality things. So what do we do usually in the conventional experiments? So it is a very tedious process. So if we want to develop any process, first we are going to do some kind of R&D studies. So in all these days, we can consider about this lockdown. So pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, we can say. So pre-pandemic, nobody knows about the virtual class and online classrooms, and also maybe some of them were carried out this online classes. So now see after the post things, so everything changed. So even a kid who's in your home knows about the virtual class or in the online classrooms. So that is the transformation we are going through. So we can call it as a transformation era, so that we are slightly developing with this reality tools. So what I'm going to explain is the R&D purpose. So in R&D purpose, we do a lot of experiments, not only in the science background, also in the construction basis or in the mechanical instrumentation development. So everywhere we go, so there is some kind of experimentation with the help of new technologies or prototypes or any developmental models. So to overcome all these burdens and the cost effects and time consuming process, so now it is developing a virtual platforms. That is what we are going to all this training program. So conventional experimentation. So usually what we start, we do some kind of real hands-on experience. So we do some experiments or we construct something and we know what this exactly it look like and how it would perform in future. So this is what we go through. And second thing is about knowledge about every components. If we are using some mechanical component or scientific components, we go through all this before we are handling everything in experimentation purpose. So that is the standard operating protocol. So we must know the basic informations about the components we are using. So that is the second thing. And the third thing is about trial and error. So what is actually the trial and error? So we do some kind of experiments in real laboratory or any in the field studies. We do some trials and we face some errors and also we rectify all those. So this is how we practice even more in efficient way. And the fourth thing is time consuming. So when we start to do this kind of experiments or like a real life experimentation protocols, it will take time. So first time you may get some errors, or second time you may face some difficulties in attaining your results. So time consuming is one of the major thing we can face in the conventional experimentation. And the last thing is optimize the output. So we do a lot of trial and error methods and we find the optimum level of our experiments. Suppose I am going to construct a walkway for a multi stories building. So I have to work with all this scientific concepts and strength and everything. And finally, I'm going to optimize the output. So this is how we start experimenting all these days. That is conventional experimentation. And what are the methods we use in experimentation? First, we try to test the methods in laboratories. So we test the materials, we test the protocols, we test the products even, and also the results. So how it would look like in future. And the second thing is identification methods in laboratories. So once we found any protocols, even in a scientific components or any constructions or any new products, like food products we develop, we identify their quality and also properties of those products. And this is how we start. And finally, the trial and error analysis. So finally, in the conventional method, we go through all this and we face trial and error analysis. So what will happen? We produce anything which is different from our expected like a model or prototype. So this is how we examine and we go to the next level of our experimentation. So everything is done based on the hands-on trials and in-person trials, we can say. So we will be there, the components will be there, and we will do the experiments and we will get the results. And also we will analyze every results what we are getting in the experiment, and then we process all those things and we develop a particular component or a technology. So this is how we were doing all these days. And in regular practice, we have a hypothesis. We are going to design a new thing, or we are going to design a new component, or even in the drug discovery. So a lot of people are saying that drug discovery is one of the important like aspect what we are hearing in the news today. So COVID vaccine. So look at this now. So how this COVID vaccine is being prepared? So is this prepared by any manual like process, or is there any model we can prepare? So this is how we do. So in our biological like sector, we do some kind of reality studies, that is in silico drug designing. So in preliminary process, we develop those components which is responsible for attacking that particular virus in any protein or surface stages. And then those proteins are then like developed as a product, anti-protein we can say. So this is how we do. So all these things are based on the reality. So we are not going to handle even a single protein because they're very tiny, and we have no like power to visualize everything in an ACT-die. So that what we are doing, we are using the power of this reality and like develop advanced technologies, and then we'll go for a manufacturing process. And finally, with the help of this reality, we could visualize how attractive this particular drug working on the virus. So this is the regular process. The same way they are like hypothesize and experiment their designs, and then process, they develop a process which is responsible for this drug design or model design or any constructive designs. And then they have some expectation this drug produced drug will work for 100 percentage. So they will go for animal trials or anything. But we could have heard that this drug is showing the adverse effect, and something is showing 95 percentage effect. And in UK now, they have shown 96.4 percentage of like effectiveness, so that they are going to implement that particular vaccine to all the like human beings to protect it from COVID like pandemic issues. So this is how we expect, and the reality tools will take us to the next level of developmental stage, what we can say. So the conventional stage, this is only a handling process or a contacting in-person process. But the reality, which is going beyond what we are expecting nowadays, and also the duration. So just think of, you have a virus and you have that particular protein which will act on the virus, but you cannot sit and you work in the lab and you can process that particular protein on the virus. So just think how tiny and very efficient technology they have developed in like a virtual experimentation. So we do everything in a virtual mode, and we develop that particular addition process, and then we develop a drug. This is what is happening. So which is very like a less period what we are taking from our regular practices. And experiment execution. So execution also, before going to the real life execution, we'll work out with this reality things. So I'm going to add this particular developed protein on this virus, and then this drug will work on that virus and give some kind of responses. This is called like a reality execution. And once I found all this like trial and errors and the adverse effect and what are the components which is produced in the process, and then only I'll be getting execution certificate, and then I can produce my vaccine to the public. So this is how happening. And also this is not the expected outcome from our result. Even in the conventional process, whatever the process we are developing, it will have multiple responses. If we develop for a particular outcome, some errors or some deviations may occur in the process, so that we'll be getting different outcomes. Okay, so outcomes may vary, and finally the problem definitions. So this is the regular practice what we do. I'm just taking this virus example because I'm from like biology background, and also this experiment is same everywhere, not only for biology or maths or constructions or any programming. So experiments are the same. We are going to experiment some component, and we are going to develop a process and the outcome. The components may vary, like a biology or mechanical or anything. So this is how it is deviating. And for beginners, if you don't know about any like a chemical things or any machines or any like instruments you are handling for the first time, so we are highly risk of unexpected errors. So it will lead to some like burst out or lead to failures, or so these kind of unexpected uncertain things may happen for beginners, even though you know some like basic things about the experiments. And also cost of testing components. So each and every trial will require more cost for components or equipments or instrumentation, whatever we are procuring for experimentation purpose. Let's say for an example, in a Tesla company, they are developing electric vehicles nowadays. So it is not possible that they have developed this electric vehicle at the first trial. They have developed many prototypes and experimenting many motors for this electric vehicles. And once they found that optimal like a running condition of that particular engine, they have chosen that particular output for a electric vehicle. So this is how it is happening. So think of it, how much they have spent before experimenting and also before developing that final product. So it is huge when we considering that particular product, because R&D utilizes more cost than developing a product. All this cost belongs to this R&D process, or like drawn on the product cost, even for a vaccine also. So if vaccine cost is about 2,500 per person, it will occupy about 30 to 40 percentage of R&D cost. So R&D cost is very high even in all the sectors, not only in a bio or mechanical. So everywhere we utilize more like equipments and components, so that it will cost more. And next thing is the knowledge about error process. So we have to do some kind of analytical things before handling any new equipments or new models. So we should know what all the errors may occur, and we have to be cautious about all those kind of errors. So this is what we are very familiar about. And final thing is what we have discussed already: time for experimenting. So for to develop a successful product or a prototype or a model, you have to spend more time in experiment. So it will take even 2 times or in 100 times or 1,000 times. It is about the optimum level which we are getting. So it is transferring from one stage to another stage, and finally we are succeeding with our expected level. And what if we face another full lockdown? See, before lockdown, as we discussed, we don't know about all these online classes and online platforms which are procuring more developed technologies. So we have numerous technologies which are bridging from educating environment to the developed technologies. So look at this one. No real experimentation would possible. So have you ever think of your practical sessions? So all professor, I guess. So you are working in a lab. You are supposed to be like taking a lab, but in this pandemic or this lockdown period, we are taking all the online classes. But we left all these practical sessions and how we like train them. So practical sessions will give the real life experience to every like components we teach to the students. So we are missing out entirely 100 percentage. So they have theoretical knowledge but not the practical knowledge. So no real experimentation is done all this, and lack of knowledge. So what will happen if something went wrong when you are doing the procedure which you thought in the theory class? So once you practice everything in hands-on training, it will take to you in a next level. So you may face some difficulties or any uncertain errors. So you can go through everything and you can change it. And no way to procure equipments. So if you are fully logged and you have no communication with the external sources, so you cannot buy equipment for experimentation or procure any component, even a single chemical or a single instrument you can buy from other side. So this is very a hectic that we cannot do any R&D process if we were locked. Since it is a biological process, we are procuring with the government support. So what if it is other sectors like civil or mechanical, which is very difficult for them to handle this situation. So this is how we are facing all these hurdles. And next thing is the lagging of process. That is always called chain process. So once you break anywhere in the R&D or production or in packing, so everything will be broken down and you will face huge crisis. So this is what happened in the last few months. So we are lagging of process. So we don't get any efficient vaccine so far due to this a mechanical support or anything. And also this lagging of progress is due to of this handling experiences. So to overcome all these difficulties, we are utilizing these virtuality tools. So this is a perfect alternative for all these considerations. And also I'm going to discuss about how this is going to be replaced with the reality tools. Look at these advancements. We have emerging technologies, and other side is a learning environment. But in between this pandemic lockdowns and lot of struggles, so we are facing nowadays. So which can be bridged with the help of these quality reality tools. So we can say virtual experimentation, so virtual labs and virtual mode of demonstrations, and also simulation of simple scientific concepts. So everything will help them to go through everything what they have done already in the laboratories. They can practice even more better, because in our regular practice in laboratories, we do students in a batch wise, even 5 members or 10 members or 15 members, they will go in group. Any one or two will perform the experiments. This is what will happen. But in case of these reality tools, everyone should have the assigned task, and also they must do all the experiments which are assigned for them, and they have to send it back. So this will give a single or personal responsibility for them to send it back to your faculties, or for them also they can exercise it with personal experience. So this is very attractive thing which we see in this reality tools. And so how these bridging technologies are acting in three ways. So all these 2 days you have learned about many virtual and augmented reality tools and also mixed reality tools. So I'm going to connect all these tools with the help of experimentation in the aspects of learning experience, and also in the industrial R&D process. Now, the virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality plays a vital role in even nook and corner of every industries. Basically, I'm saying I have an example of some reviews about the industrial process and also the learning environment. So, how this is impacting entirely. So this is just a glance of how this virtual reality, augmented reality, and merged, that is mixed reality, will work in the experimentation purpose. You just have a glance. This VR is completely digital environment. So the background, even the components, and everything is like a different place where we are in. So this is how it is working. fully enclosed synthetic experience with no sense of a real world. So you will be taken out of your real world. And the second thing is augmented reality. So which is like a real world with a digital information overlay. So which is harnessing the rear camera or your goggles and like lenses to take you to the lively component. So real world remains the central to this experience. So wherever you are, suppose you are in your room or you are in your R&D center or you are in an workplace, you will be there, but the components will be like visualized in that particular environment. So that is happening in augmented reality. And finally, the mixed reality, real and virtual are intertwined. So this is what happening in that particular thing. So interaction with manipulation of both physical and virtual experiment is happening. So you have to move all your hands and fingers to visualize and do your experimentation things. So this is happening in merged reality. So how to use this in experimentation? So to experiment everything, we should need to have some kind of hands-on experiments in the conventional process. But in case of reality, how we can do this with the help of this reality tool? So we have four different like categories. One is 360-degree camera. So in which our background will be something already like made up of, like a blank screen or some colored screen or any kind of environment. So this is how 3D. So for example, if you are going to buy a new bike, you can go to it's a Honda bike, no? So you can go to the Honda site and you can see the 360 view of that particular bike. So in that particular site and in 360 view, you can look around all the components of the bike you are looking for. So this is the simple example. And the second thing is the virtual reality. So immerse users in fully digital world. So entirely different from what is happening around you. It will take you to the another level with the help of goggles or digital like lenses. And the third thing is augmented reality. So augmented reality plays a vital role nowadays in like primary education to the industrial scale. So we'll discuss in later. So augmented reality overlays virtual objects on the real world environment. So which can be used with the help of mobile phones, laptops, and some lenses. So which is quite like cost sensitive when compared to the virtual reality tools. So you can use your normal mobile phones and tabs for this. And finally, the mixed reality or merged reality. So all these things can be used here. Mobile phones, tabs, laptops, and lenses can also be used. So HoloLenses will be the perfect one for augmented reality. So if you can't afford those things or the primary education student, they cannot afford this HoloLens, they can use simple tools. So this is how it is happening. And in short, virtual reality puts the user in fully artificial. With augmented reality, the user can see the digital objects on the place where they are. And in mixed reality, allows you to interact with those digital objects in the context of the world. With the AR and mixed reality, they can go for new digital environment can be scaled down in size, and also they can experiment and they can move, they can operate, and they can do whatever they have done already with the lively components. So this is a difference between all these reality components, and this is the real life experience. So I'm going through an article about this reality experience. So look at this pepper constructions. So this is a very big construction company. They're getting their like customers feedback. So this medical center temporary walkway. So they are facing a few problems. So what are those? No, we need to clarify, clearly communicate our intent for building a temporary walkway. So in conventional thing, what we do, so we do some kind of 2D structure or a 2D drawing to show the customer to this is how the walkway would look like exactly. And what are the previous technologies they have used? 2D imaging or 3D imaging or 3D models. This is how it was so far. But so what this AR changed in them. So AR could give the real life experience, how this walkway would exactly look like. So when they are passing through and when they are constructing in that particular bridgeway to the hospital, so how customers or like patients can walk away. So everything can be detailedly explained, and also they can consider easily. So without any like a building up components, it is a real life example of that particular thing. And also in experimentation, so what we do, experimental learning through this AR and VR in higher education. So in higher education, also in our universities, what we do, applied computing, and then we go for education. So in the education aspect, let us consider about a first year student who's entering to the college, and we are going to teach about the physics and chemistry, and also few mechanical basic like mechanisms, even forces, motions, and every aspects of engineering components we have to do them. So just imagine if you are teaching them with all these reality tools, it's not like your theoretical delivery. So you're going to discuss and explain on demonstrate everything in a visual way. So that is going to be very interactive, and also he can easily understand the concepts, so they can implement everything in the way they are expecting. And finally, interactive learning environment, so it'll give interactive learning environment for them, and also they can go with new ideas. So how this is exactly happening, it is also a two-way process. So in a conventional process, what they are doing, they are explaining or demonstrating, and then those concepts will be absorbed by the students, and they can realize what is that particular component, and finally they will understand the concept. So this is what is happening. So it is a three-way process. And in this reality experimentation, so in this reality experimentation, they are observing the concept with the two steps. You're going to demonstrate and they are like understanding. So this is what is happening. It's a two-way process. It is also reducing the time and also improving the understanding of every concepts. So it is highly advantageous than any other process. So AR, VR in experimentation, if we are using any kind of mobile, so basically all of us have Androids and iOS mobiles. So all these AR and VR softwares can be installed. These platforms are very suitable for the AR and VR. So we don't need any advanced so OS operating systems or computational methodologies for this particular platforms. They can harness all those developed technologies and they can implement this experimentation purpose. And when you are using these laptops or desktops, they can use everything with the help of this. And here we are coming to the Unity developers. So Unity, we know. So already you might have gone through this workshop related to Unity. So this Unity is a developer for many reality like components and environments where they do few models and also some kind of demonstration components. And also this Marine and Flutter, also the same what they are doing in augmented reality and virtual reality experimentation purpose. So when you're using the smart glasses, if you're affordable or your students, every student's affordable with the smart glasses, we have some Epson like made up of, and also Google's HoloLenses, also Musics. So three things are very efficient when you're buying the smart glasses for experimentation purpose with the help of this reality tools. So there are more platforms available than all these we have considered. React Native, Ionic, and Adobe Air, Curiosity Flejo, and Elbar. So such a way we can implement everything day by day. So what we have discussed, so prior to this pandemic and post pandemic, so we are developed so much with this like online tools. So in the same way, what is going to happen, maybe in 10 years or 20 years, everything going to be reality forms. So we are going to teach everything in a reality classes or interactive classes with the help of these reality tools. And most of you have gone through this gamings. So even the gaming apps also requiring this reality tools nowadays. So that is what like we are transforming from one stage to another stage. So what my suggestion is, we have to adapt ourselves to the next level of this transformation with the help of reality tools. This is not only for experimentation purpose, even in the teaching purpose also, in any kind of real life modeling. So modeling purpose also, we have to adopt these reality tools. So in teaching, what we have done. So the book components are converted into reality components, and we are going to deliver this to our students, and they are going to grasp all those like properties with the help of these tools. And for a simple example, I have taken AR tool, that is augmented reality tools, which we are using in the regular chemistry laboratories. So in conventional thing, what we are doing is we do some kind of like elemental table and explain even simple components in that. So in like elemental table, we have metals and non-metals. So this is how we explain, but you don't know what is the metal and non-metal. So if we use this particular virtual reality tools, which is very useful for them to understand what is exactly the metal and how it looks like and what is that property of that particular metal. So this is how it is happening. So if I'm connecting my mobile, so I'm just use this augmented reality tool for teaching. So let me continue with mobile. Sir, could you please give access to my mobile, sir? Is it possible?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Sir, already permission is given. You
Sir,
can
one
share.
minute. Yes, yes, sir. So let me stop here and present my mobile screen now. So I hope, look at this one. I'm using a simple augmented reality tool to explain the experiments to my students. So how it is happening with the help of just a mobile. So all of us have this basic gadget called multimedia mobile with a camera. So I'm using this one for a reality class. Look at this one. So here you can see Sparklab. I have already like installed this software and going through the classrooms. So it'll take a minute to load, and I'm going with the offline mode. So look at this one. This is simple mobile app. What we do like gaming app or camera apps. So in such a way, I just installed and I'm teaching my students about this interactive periodical table. So most of you are science background, I hope, and you know about this periodical table. So far, what we have learned from this is a conventional thing. We have seen a table with a lot of chemical like components and ions. We don't know exactly what is the function of it, right? So all this because we have learned in a theoretical component, we don't know exactly what is the atom shape and also what is the use of it. So I'm going to tap this. Look at this. Once I tap this, so my mobile rear cam is opening. So I'm just to hold my hands. I'm just hiding the background, wall background. And look at this one. This is the interactive periodical table which is available in the camera itself. So if you're taking a class, you can stand next to this particular periodical table and you can explain to your students. Now I'm going to explain about the Gopal component. Look at this. I'm going to tap on this particular Gopal. So you could see the Gopal is visualized now, and also the atom structure is given here. So with the help of these reality tools, and also all the basic informations like atomic numbers and atomic weight, melting point, everything is given here. With a single tab, we could get to know all the basic details of this particular Gopal component. But this is impossible in case of any like a conventional theory process. And also the basic informations about this particular component Gopal also given here. So Gopal is a chemical element with the symbol of CO and atomic number of 27. So all these are basic informations, and also you could see the atomic structure of this particular Gopal. So this is very useful for basic chemistry learners. They can utilize the app and they can learn about how this particular component is working and also the basic informations and everything. Suppose I am going to experiment. So I don't know anything about the chemistry and I know about an atom and a proton, electron and also neutron. So I would like to develop an atom. So how I could do? So we cannot do any kind of real life experiment for this. We cannot bring down the electrons or protons or neutrons to our hand, so which is highly impossible, and we cannot do even more with that. So these reality tools will help the students to develop their own. Excuse me. So this reality tools will help them to like prepare anything with the new technologies. I'm going to click it to the create an atom. So again, I'm going to tap. I just holding my hands on the camera. So I'm tapping it. I'm going to start. So look at this one. You would have get this like lighting point. So when I'm adding this proton, so proton component is added to the red color ball and two protons and neutrons and one more neutron. See how easy to construct this particular atom. It's not actually possible in conventional methodologies. So we do, and also if you are learning about an electron, so how electron is forming a valency or that orbital, and you can also learn about the new concepts. You are developing a new atom, and also you are creating an electron circle for all those atoms. So in such a way, you can learn about all these new aspects about the chemical components. If it is a Gopal, it's 27 atomic number is 27. So they have 27 like protons and neutrons and everything. So that you can explain and experiment every concepts with the help of this. In case you are working in any like medical industries or research and development industries, you have to go through all this anatomic studies, but it is not possible with like higher education. So that what we have is similar app called Eon XR. This Eon XR app is also having the same like features like our Spark Lab. So this Eon XR not only for any medical background, it also helpful for like a higher secondary school students and college students, even what we have discussed, professionals. So it is very useful for them to like develop models. So let it load for a minute. Let's wait. And I'll explain how this is very useful for. So now it is loaded. You could see we have a lot of categories in that. We have a simple mobile phone which we are handling in our hand. So which gives all the perspectives about kindergarten to 12th secondary education, and also the higher education, and also the lot of aerospace and transportation, energy sectors, and health and medical. So this is giving a high perspective, high quality information. Have any facility or like affordable to visit that particular airport or airspace land where they can like stand there. So this will help them to discover everything about the helicopter cockpit and also the architectural design. So we can go with the virtual tours, and we can experiment what are all the construction materials they have used and what are the designs given. And in the same way, you could see for biology, even digestive system, and also the anatomy of stomach, and each and every organs are given here. Is it possible to like extract or dissect every organ by a student and he can learn about a human heart? It is highly impossible. So if he want to learn about everything, suppose for an example he want to learn about the human heart, I am just tapping onto it. So this lesson will be given and he can experiment what are all the articles and ventricles are available in the heart. He can study in detail how this heart will look like. So it's literally an experimentation, but the only thing is it is not a real or handy thing. So which is available in the digital platform. That is the only difference which makes from or digital platform to the virtual regular platforms. That is the only difference. And even more, this is very like interactive, and also which gives a high perspective when you're holding a real heart. And it will take 20 to 30 seconds. Let's wait. So once it gets loaded, you could see the real heart, human heart, and also the sound and also the structure. So even more real when compared to like a normal thing. So you could see here it is given with the options on AR and VR. So artificial, augmented reality and virtual reality with the artificial environment. And also you can look at the X-ray form. So how it would exactly look like when you're going with X-ray, and also the visual views. Like looking into it. So it's still loading. So there is some network issue. So let me like continue my. So just loading. Sorry for the inconvenience. There is some network issue. So once it gets loaded, you could see the real heart and how it would look like. So I'm going to start it over again. Thank you for your patience. And it is loading now. So why I'm spending this much time for this? No, you could realize how this augmented reality and virtual reality tool will give a clear perspective on each and every components. Just for an example, I have taken this human organ for your example, and you could see the real thing which is in our mobile phone or a reality compound. I think there is some issue with network. So I thought to explain you about all the components which are available in this simple application, but unfortunately something went wrong, and it is like loading in the wrong way. So hope you get it what I'm like trying to tell you. This simple gadget, so which is giving a more perspective and ideas than what we learn from our books and like reading other novels. So that is what I just try to explain. So rather using this, I'm simply going to, if you are working in a math profession and you want to learn about simple geometry concepts, so which is also made by Unity and like developers, as you all get trained already. So practicing the geometric models. So what we do in our regular classes, we do some kind of geometric demo models. We prepare some cubes or pyramids or anything, but I just want to understand something different and how this would exactly look like if it is real. So I'm going to teach them about vertices. So look at this one. I'm going to start the exercise. So here you could see different options, 2D, 3D, and cardboard VR. So this cardboard VR will take you to the next level, and a 360 view will give you a clear perspective how this cube is exactly look like. So I don't have cardboard now, so I'm just going to tip on this 360 view. It is also the reality like platform you could see here. So this is just a cube, and also you can easily explain how this cube would look like and about the vertices and about the corners and node points and how it would look like. So I'm going to tap it on here and the vertices and the vertex mode. So once you select this, you could see vertex. If I click this, I can explain about the nodes and how it is connected with the cube and also the edge. So I'm going to teach them about a BF, CG and EG. So we can do some kind of real demonstration rather drawing in a board or doing something different. So this will give them a clear perspective on how these lines and nodes will look like and also the faces. So how the faces are look different from corners or lines. So once you click the face, it will be highlighted. So just imagine if you are explaining in a board or like experimenting really in a 3D demo models you have prepared. So you have to sketch it all over the face and you have to explain. If it is a reality tool, just simple tap is enabling you to explain in details about the different components. So look at this one. This is how we are developed with this reality tools. The same way you can explain each and every geometric concepts in the mathematics. It will take you to the another level of teaching and experimentation. So not only vertices and also the volumes and I told you right. So every components you can teach to your student in effective way. And also in chemistry live experimentation. So due to this pandemic, we cannot do any kind of experiments like we are not allowed into the laboratory so that most of the students lack of this experimental knowledge. So that what we are doing, we are educating with the virtual laboratories. So whatever we do in our lab, so we do take chemicals and we pour it somewhere and we are getting some kind of result. The same thing what is happening. So I'll demonstrate a simple experiment which is like responsible for this mixtures and something. For example purpose, I am using this mobile app. For a virtual demo, we have a lot of other apps, so I cannot use it over here. So look at this one. These are all the laboratory components we have in usual labs. So look at the sugar and water bottles, beakers with all these components, and also each and every lab components are here with the help of this holders and also stands and a burner. So everything is here. So usually what we do, we take a sugar solution and then add it to this porcelain bowls. So the same what we are going to do here. So we are going to tap it on the sugar solution or water, and then we are bringing it to porcelain bowls. And what will happen? So once we bring it to here, so this will be poured onto the porcelain bowls. So look at this one. So it's like a real thing. The only thing we are not handling or holding it. That is the only difference which is making. And also doing the same. So in the same way, until the end of the experiment, we complete all the procedures. First, we have to add, and then we have to add the sugar, and then we have to add the iron. So everything will be followed as per the procedure. So this is the way we carry out every experiments in our laboratories. So which is relating somewhat from the real life experiments and also helping the bridges in the lockdown period. As we discussed, most of your students are not aware of the laboratory practicals. So that we are harnessing the power of this augmented reality and virtual reality for the purpose, and we are utilizing. This is not only for mixture purpose, and also I'm just considering about the virtual reality experiment tools which are available for my department, and also which gives more and more applications for different departments and different interdisciplinary like concepts you can go for. Stop it over here. So I'm resuming back to this presentation. So here we left. That is a simple scientific experiments. And also we have some like a laptop based, that is desktop based applications and platforms for experimentation tools. And not only about the experimentation, also like a demonstrations, like a simulations. If you are going to teach your student about the physics concept, like how the electricity is going to work, and you have a specific application, that is a reality application, that you can explain your student about how the circuit is being formed, and also the light, where you have to fix the light and resistor and the switch, and also how you can measure the voltage between the nodes, and also the amps between the connections. So this will give clear perspective on how the electrons are moving in the electric circuit and how the lights are glowing, and each and every materials, that is a steady material what you're going to teach is very interactive and very impressive too, so your students can easily understand the concepts. So I just tried this eon xr, I just given the introduction. Due to network issue, I couldn't continue with that. So if you are free and if you would like to explore this eon xr, and I also suggest you to go through all the experiments. So something will be useful for you in that, I'm damn sure. And which is highly advantageous, what we have discussed, is quick to the lab. So in regular practice, what we do, we prepare the chemicals and we prepare some components before experiment, or we try to prepare the equipment before any practice, or we try to manipulate something which is going to be started. So this is how we do in the conventional thing. And also We have to go through some standard operating protocol before trying any experiments, and also we have to work through all these basic principles. And what will happen if something went wrong? The process may get destroyed, or any equipment failure or process failure. This is what happened. But in case of reality, look at this one. All the informations are given like a pop-ups. Once you click any component, it will be shown that you are touching a wrong component, or if you are explaining an electric circuit, the fuse will pop up. So it is fused. Just an illusionary thing. So what will happen in real life if it is fused? It will give some kind of fumes, and also scary effect once it get fused in the laboratories. But in the reality things, only it's like a highlighted flash, so it is fused, so which is safe. And also you will try get all the informations what you are doing in the regular experiments, and standard operating protocols, and everything will be like your roadmap. So you have to do this step, and you have to go through all this practice, and you have to complete this experiment with the help of this particular step. So this is how we go through. And the final and one more advantage is real experience, and this is one of the laboratory visual experiment we do for our student. So in our regular laboratory, we take microbial cultures, we inoculate in a plate, and then we try to separate them from that particular medium. But it will take too much of time, and also the components we use, even a media particles or the liquid we use, cost for 10,000 to 20,000 for each and every like a experimental purpose. So look at this one. Once you develop all this reality tools for each and every experiments, the same what they are doing in the laboratories, it will give an alternative, and also time consuming, and also it will reduce the cost of experimentation. But everything is the same. They get the same knowledge what they are doing in the real experience as well as in the reality experience. So both of them going to deliver the same concept to them. So I suggest this virtual reality tools will help them in future to get more knowledge about interesting facts. And also it has some pros and cons, you know. So enhanced visualization. So it will give a real experience. So which is very lively. If you're holding a heart, it will exactly look like how heart will look like, with the articles and ventricles and how it pop-ups. Everything is the same as a real component. But only thing is in a mobile screen or in the artificial environment. That is the only difference. And the second thing, improve education quality. So you're going to teach in brief, in a clear way, with all the aspects. Even for an atom we have seen. So atom has a proton, neutron, and electron. So once you are teaching in a simple way, this is a Gopal, which atom number is 27, which will give only about the numerous and also a three-way convey process. But once you are selecting this RT augmented reality and virtual reality tools, will take them to the real world, how the atom and proton are getting coupled in ions and how it is forming a couple. And third thing is collaborative learning. So collaborative learning is something that gives experimental knowledge as well as acquired knowledge, which will give about the experimentation experiments experience, and also the learning experience, which is very impressive. And global outreach, so you will get a lot of information. So each and every application whatever you're using, suppose I'm using the Spark Lab and EonXR, so which is updated very frequently with all the advantages. So once I started to use this Spark Lab, which was given only about the interactive table, but now they have developed the particular atom development tool also. So it is like developing more and more fast what we are expecting, and better student appraisal. So they can learn and learn more what we are doing in the conventional process, and stimulated academic interest. So it is very hard for a teacher to grab students' attention. So whatever we do, they have some kind of distractions, and they may sit with their friends and do some kind of chit chat process. But once you are using this reality compound, or you are assigning to do all these reality experiments, they will surely do, because this is exactly look like a gaming process. And 2 years back, there is a game called Pokemon Go, so which is like picking up a ball. It is like with the help of augmented reality only, which is banned actually. So this is due to the students highly interested, and they are mad about that particular Pokemon Go game. So which is like if you are asking your kid or your a son or a girl to walk for a mile. So it is impossible, and they wouldn't agree with you, and they will not walk actually. So that Pokemon Go game triggered all the youngsters to search of the particular ball, even in their area and somewhere in the homes and somewhere in the parking lot. So it has triggered like a huge response in the youngsters, so that it is banned. So that is what happening. So if you are giving with the virtual experimentation, that is a gaming entirely different from teaching process. So gaming is entirely different from a teaching process, as we know. So what we are going to do, in the same way, we are going to teach each and every concepts to the students. So this is how protons are working. This is how the buildings are constructed. This is how the equipment is running, and this is how it is being manufactured or made. So you can explain, and they can go through everything, and they can experiment all those. And edutainment. So that is the coupling of education and entertainment. So just before, I have shown you some like Gopal, and below that we have seen a globe which is like rotating. So that is actually an atom with a coupling of proton and electron. So that would look like a game or any like visual entertainment process video. But exactly that is educational content. They can easily observe what is happening there in the globe, how the protons or electrons are coupling together, and improved research. For example, on individual can easily get to know about the each and every organelles of human parts, and also they can research about how this exactly look like, and they can do some kind of modification in it, whatever we do in COVID development, vaccine development. And also it has some problems, right, in experimentation process. So undermines human interaction. So we'll not have any interaction. That is the only and major problem. So once we are doing some kind of experiment in laboratories, we do some kind of interaction with our students. So we sit with them, we discuss with them, and we have some kind of a conversation with them. Shall we do the experiment in this way or that way? So this is what we do. But in this visual experimentation, will into that particular thing, and lacks flexibility. So it's like doing wrong things. So if you are supposed to break any glassware, it will not happen here. And also, if you want to try something new, which is beyond the process, so already created reality tools are meant for that particular process. You cannot create any new thing. If you want to do so, you have to develop a program or a artificial environment to go through all this. So this is how you do. And next thing is a process addiction. So once they started to, so whatever we discussed, Pokemon Go. So addiction. So they started to addict with that particular reality compounds, and in experimentation purpose too. So they will go through all these things for designing and purpose. That is one of interest, but some kind of addiction must be overcome to achieve your level. And finally, poses high expenditure. So in case of any virtual reality, so you will use some costly gadgets and costly technologies and softwares to go through all this experimentation purpose. So it will cost some kind of expenditure. So this will not be affordable for all the people ranges. So that is the only like disadvantages of it. So in the educational purpose, augmented reality is always an appreciable advancement, and also numerous technologies has been developed in recent days. We are not going through all this, so Just update yourself with all the reality compounds and update yourself with this reality experimentations, which will give you a clear perspective on how you can utilize this particular like a technology. You can bridge your teaching methodologies to your students, so you can easily convey your like concepts. If you're a CSE teacher or EC teacher, you can easily convey your concepts of interest to your student without any hurdles. So this will surely help you to reach that particular level. And also, this particular AR and VR tools are nowadays triggered with educational teachers in the primary level. So we are going through a lot of trainings for teachers who belongs to our country, and we are educating them with the help of this reality tool. You can use this particular reality tool. You can teach to your student, and you can give clear perspective on this. So we are going through different tools which are available for this reality platforms. So we are choosing basically easily available and open source tools, because more of the people are not affordable with subscription or any payable apps. So that we are opting this freely available tools. And also there are a lot of tools for experimentation also. I request you all to go through these reality tools, and you can incorporate these tools to your teaching methodologies, and you can go through everything which is available for you. Suppose you are taking like a circuit classes, or myself, I am taking a biology classes, so I can incorporate this particular models into my teaching, and we can go beyond the level we expect. So that will give us more confidence, and also some kind of fulfillment in the teaching level. With this, completing this topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, all dear participants, for your patient listening.
Thank you, sir. Participants, if you have any queries, kindly post it in chat box.
I have posted a few like visual experimentation platforms, so that it will give you a more perspective on your simple like science experiments or a basic experimental knowledge. You can go through all this. You can search it in the Google OLAP's PhD in CK12, which is helpful for you to like improve your way of teaching. Thank you, Nitya ma'am. Thank you for your feedback.
So thank you, sir, for demonstrating AR VR platforms to render it to the real time, which could be useful for academic wise, and it's very fruitful and valuable for faculties. Once again, we thank you for your sharing your treasured knowledge, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you all Participants can join the tomorrow session by 9 a.m. Thank you.